So what will be the first item? I heard something about ego, which is always very interesting.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. So you're in the rain and the thunder.
Yes, very big storm here. Very big. Things flying around the house, actually, including the gate. Oh, now I realize the gate is really flying around.
Yep.
Oh my God, the gate. Yes, so that's interesting because I'm in Tuscany on the coast, and usually the weather is good, very warm, very humid. But last week it was 43.9 degrees on my Garmin, my cycling
Wow.
computer. Yes, so it's a bit different today. Refreshing.
Well,
Yes.
as almost all Italians say, after Ferragosto, 15 August,
Yeah.
then like the African heat will go, because then the weather system of the northwestern part of Europe
Yes.
is like stronger than the weather system of Africa, and then it changes. That's why there is so much thunder and rain, because those two weather systems are like competing with each other. And then after
Okay.
15 August, the like the heat, 40 plus
Yes.
degrees, will go.
So that's why Ferragosto, by the way, Ferragosto is the most famous holiday, I think, in Italy. That's why it's August 15, like
Well,
midsummer,
if you
sort of.
like the facts, we checked it. So
Ah,
there was the emperor
yes.
Augustus,
August.
August,
Ah, yes.
and the month of August in this story is named after him. And
Uh-huh.
August, as you know, because the owner of the place where you are renting this beautiful room where you are, he's bringing you all kind of food, right? Like this beautiful
Yes.
tomatoes and zucchini and
Zucchini,
everything.
melanzana, everything.
So this is the month of harvest.
Uh-huh.
And then this emperor said van, okay, now the harvest is done, and then we will celebrate it with some ferie, so with the holidays.
Yes.
And ferie, Ferragosto, the ferie days of Agosto, the Ferragosto. So that's
Ah,
like in Dutch you will say verbastering of ferie and August.
okay. Wow.
And it's still like that. Like also here on Sardinia, where we have like 6 million Italians on the island in August.
Yes, this holiday is really big because I left the Dolomites a few days before, and there was like 50-kilometer queue going to the Dolomites. All Italians go to beautiful places with family and celebrate.
Yep. Or they go
Well,
to their mountain house of the family, or they go to the beach. Yeah.
yeah, to the sea house. Well, for sure, this week it's really true that after August 15, things change a lot. Yes. Yes, and you said ego. Well, I remember that when we did the last podcast 2 weeks ago, that you said, "Oh, I wanted to talk about ego, but now we postpone it." That's why I said ego.
Ego. Let's talk about ego. What's your definition of ego?
That's a good one. Well, it's for sure a voice in your head. Uh, um, it's not a bad thing, for sure. It also helps you to live in this world and to make sure you don't get killed by a bus or a car driving by. Um,
Or it makes it possible to be killed by a bus?
or makes it possible. True. So, for sure, my first description is ego is a voice in your head. We all have it. It can be a very big, loud voice or maybe more quiet. Depends on your program and kind of person. Um, so is it like how you say setting directions in life? It can be. when the voice is really loud. But if it's a voice in your head, then the question is it really you? Because usually you are not the voices in your head. Um,
Well, let's try another angle because I love this. Um, a lot of people also talk about the mind. So what's the difference, or is it the same between mind and ego?
hmm, Question. I don't know. But my feeling says that mind is maybe more neutral, can go, thoughts can go like everywhere without like just observing or and noticing things, meditating on things, and it's like more neutral. Ego is less neutral to me. Ego feels like more with power or judgments or something like that.
And then you have people who talk about the big me and the small me. So how does that relate to mind and ego?
Well, I don't know if they talk about their inner child, maybe the small me, but they mean without ego and with ego.
No, my small me says, but my big me says,
Oh, really?
my bigger self, my smaller self.
Well, it sounds like that they mean the smaller selves are with less ego and the bigger selves are with more ego. But
Interesting, interesting. Well, there's no right or wrong. But
yes,
what
what's
my
yours?
system is giving me, because mind and smaller me and big me is like the soul is the big me and the smaller me is the ego. But especially if you go into some um, thinking systems of the East, then they talk about small me, big me. Maybe it's an interpretation or a translation of something. But if we stick to the difference between mind and ego, I think the mind is like the whole antenna system. So
Okay.
the mind is a big receiver,
Uh-huh.
and the ego makes a lot of stories around it.
So it's the
And
sender.
I love the ego because it's like you can be a painter, but if you don't make paintings, you're not really a painter, right? So the painting is the ego. And then
Uh-huh.
people look at this painting and they say, "Yeah, this is about this and about that, and it really it was right or wrong, or it's art or no art."
So they
And
judge.
it starts like a lot of things. Well, the mind is just receiving information that wants to go on the canvas.
So that means that if the mind is the receiver, the ego is the sender.
Yeah, in a
So
way, like hey, then you can become famous or poor or rich or an asshole or a beautiful person or a caregiver or a mom or a dad or a child or a victim.
labels. So that labels. Ego is
Yeah,
for labels
yeah,
also.
yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of people combine the mind. They think the mind is the same as the ego.
And then things get mixed up, literally.
Yeah. And the mind is it's just a receiver. And that's why I
But
love this endless practice that's never done. If your mind receives something and you take it personal, then you feed the ego. If you start searching about who done it or whatever, you feed the ego. And if you try to fix it, like automatically, you feed the ego. You cannot fix anything without an ego, and fixing sometimes is very pleasant. Yeah, searching is also not wrong. It's just that you do it automatically. But that's not, I don't think the mind is doing that.
But when the ego is so busy with creating stories, then maybe there is not really a lot of space for the antennas to receive.
That's it. So then I had this conversation, I think this morning, about I'm always kind of surprised when I ask people about meditation and yoga. Then people
Yeah.
say, yeah, I tried meditation, but it doesn't work for me. And then
Ah,
I'm always like, meditation doesn't work for, or I can't do it. I'm not good at it. Meditation and yoga are just tools
mhm.
to refresh the mind.
To make space so
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mind can receive, to take out the noise, because
yeah.
ego also is sometimes very noisy.
I learned a while ago um, that like almost all our thoughts are on repeat. We're not so creative.
Okay, I believe.
So, and the mind cannot receive something new.
No,
That's what our discussion is very often about, and why I love our conversations. To receive something new.
you first have to make space in whatever way,
Yep.
literally. Yes. And if you really imagine antennas, I mean, you can imagine that if they are really, for example, covered with all kind of forest, then for sure they cannot receive very clearly. Um, and a lot of the things we talked about in all the podcasts are training for this, like taking nothing personal, don't be a victim or a rescuer, many, many things.
And then you get choices. Then you can make choices, like we discussed the other time. Like I really enjoyed I was a captain of a ship last week
Yes.
in like really paradise here on Sardinia. It's a little bit of a pity that a lot of people think it's paradise, so it was really crowded, which is
Uh-huh.
also kind of funny. And I decided to just be the captain, like make these people go around on the boat like a holiday that they never had before. Like, I'm taking care of the ship. I'm If you just say what you want, yeah, we want to have a lunch in a nice little town, then we create the possibility that you go to this town and have a nice lunch. Or they left a phone in an ice where you buy ice creams. How do
Mhm.
you call that shop?
Gelateria.
In Italiano.
Ice cream shop. I
Ice
don't
cream shop, right? I don't know.
know.
Maybe there's a better word, but they left a little bag with the telephone, with the
Okay.
iPhone of their daughter.
Ah,
And yeah, then I speak Italian, and I saw that on the internet there was a mobile phone of this shop, so I could call them at 11 o'clock in the evening, and they found the bag and they put it apart, and we went back the next day, and it was already coming back. So I was just at service to these people,
uh-huh.
and I can recall that in the past that would not be
Mhm.
enough for me.
Because then you wanted to do
Have deep
more big
conversations
things.
like this, or check their interest in our podcast, or if they see all the things that I see,
So
and
what you're
and
saying is that that would be more ego driven.
because every morning I did my meditation, which is of
Uh-huh.
course on the water. I practiced that a
Effettive.
lot, so I
Uh,
cleared my whole system out in the morning, and I had a choice. I had a choice to step into something or step out of something. And I was surprised by how tired I was after a week, because I really thought that it didn't take any energy. But I apparently did a lot of work. I
Yes.
just every day, and sometimes several times a day, just really step into, okay, what's needed? How can I be of service? And then the ego, especially if you go into harbors where they don't want to help you, or when something goes wrong, and I made a little scratch on the boat, which my ego was like really screaming about. It takes a lot of energy
Yes, to practice.
to keep the mind clear.
To keep the mind clear and to keep the ego small.
Yeah, on the other hand, I needed this ego to make this phone call to this ice cream shop. I needed this ego to bounce a bit, to really create a better relationship with the technicians, because there was something wrong on the boat, and they didn't really found the solution. But I'm an engineer, so I thought, no, we can
I
go a
help.
little bit deeper.
Yes.
But those people are most of the times not allowed to have like real conversations. They are just at service. But then I can use my ego. Then I can say I live in Tempio, and I'm also a Sardinian, and all these engineering things, which is all ego, you know. But I could make connection with these people, and we had a laugh, and we found out what was not working and what was working, and I just did a little bit of extra so that the people on board had a better day, a better stay on the boat. And I was very, very clear about choices to do it or not to do it.
So this makes also perfectly clear that ego is not something wrong or something we should get rid of, and not at all, obviously. It's all about balance and awareness.
Yeah, and the awareness creates the possibility to make a choice.
Yes.
Like, I never experienced myself so many times at the table with these people by just making the choice just to listen. Making the choice to drop something in so that they could forward the conversation. Normally, I would take the conversation to me and really address where the conversation is about.
So you could also say that this means you don't care anymore, or you have no interest, for
I
example.
That's what I thought and what
Mhm.
I experienced, and now we are talking about difference between mind and ego.
Yes.
What I experienced is, okay, I felt fatigue afterwards, and in the moment, I had so much more energy. So it was like we also discussed, like in deeper in the other podcasts, no fighting. And it's
Oh,
about choice, that you can feel, okay, now I can make a choice to push, which sometimes is very necessary, but it's really a choice. I can also not push.
but this now you say something very, for me, deep and spot on, that it's about not fighting, because our egos are very much programmed to fight. And maybe sometimes we don't even recognize, well, I speak for me, I don't even recognize immediately that it's a fighting, but you can feel, sense that you push something or that you try to manipulate something.
And it's small. It's small. It's not like really kicking in. It's the contrary. It's it's very subtle
Yes,
that you start pushing. And I'm not
yes,
against pushing. It's just about the choice to push or not to push.
yes. And in general, we're never aware of it, that we're doing it. And so for me, it makes it a lot more clear to think of it like fighting, pushing,
Yeah. Yeah.
manipulating.
Yeah.
Because then I can really feel when I'm doing it, and then make a choice to, oh, I want to do this or I don't want to do this. Is this
Exactly.
empowering this situation or not?
And
Because it's
and and the and the information where you can build this choice on, it's not the mind, it's not the ego. Because you just said it, you can feel
you can
if it's
only,
necessary.
yes. And it's like we always say that the sentire, the Italian word, is the best because it's really you
Yeah,
sense it.
because it got all the senses. Yeah.
Yes. Um, in all kind of details. I mean, you could feel the way maybe your breathing changes when you start doing it, or your heart rate goes up, or you feel that your muscle, that you kind of freeze. You can feel it in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Huh.
So while we are talking about it, the mind doesn't live in the area of the heart and the belly,
Mm-hmm.
and the ego even exists also outside of the mind.
Outside of the mind, and you mean outside of the body? And what does that exactly mean?
Well, it's hilarious because I'm now working with a guy, really like wow, and he's very interested in out of the body experiences. And I was like really marinating and like asking a lot of questions to my teachers about this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the insight that the ego is out of body.
Okay. But why is the mind not?
Because the mind, the best proof, just feel this. I did the same thing. I did the same thing. So what they told me was, because I also didn't understand it, the ego needs past and future.
Okay, that I can follow.
And where does the mind live?
In the present.
It's a receiver. You can only receive now, right? You
Yes.
cannot receive yesterday.
No.
You can only receive now. And then the ego steps out of it, out of the now,
And
and
start making the
creates a past.
stories.
And yeah.
So it's out of, ego is out of body in this way. Okay. Okay. I see.
And a lot of people disagree with us, but that's why I like this lecture that I got,
Uh-huh.
because you need, like, I'm building an online platform with all the golden nuggets that I created in the past 30 years. I can only create it with an ego.
Yes, because otherwise you cannot go back to the things you produced years ago, the golden nuggets, for
So
example.
if you go to the online platform and
Uh-huh.
you find a meditation or an audio or some practices,
That you recorded
then you
5
look
years
at
ago.
me. Then you look at
Yeah.
me, right?
Uh-huh.
But my mind is not involved at that moment. And my body also is not involved because it's a recording. So it's not
So
wrong. It's not less. It's not like less superior or something. It's different, but
it's
it's
like what, yeah,
outside of heart and belly.
Because it's not in the moment. It's like we're looking at a photo, something.
Yeah. And of course, in the whole program around the online platform is like with some personal time and with some master classes who are like in the now, because you log in and then we are with the group in a master
Yes.
class and we are in the here and now. And then you can use the mind because it's receiving the group energy, it's receiving the moment.
So when the ego is out of body, it can go everywhere, fly everywhere, every dimension, and doesn't matter. So it's actually an amazing vehicle that we have.
Exactly.
Is ego limited to humans or human beings, or also?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know.
Me too. Because if you look at the, I don't know, lions. I mean, there's some lion is the leader and he takes decisions, and which you can say is also we use ego.
Well,
But then they call it instinct.
exactly the same thing just crossed my mind. That's interesting. Crossed my mind at the same time.
Mind. Yeah.
We got 3 chickens.
Oh,
So
3 now.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
wow.
We got 3 of them, and one is brown and lays brown eggs, and we got like a grayish one and a white one. And they're not producing eggs, but they will be blue or green.
Blue eggs?
Blue or green eggs. Yes.
What
Yes. Yeah,
the-
that's really crazy, right?
Yes.
And and one is white, so that's Bianca.
Yeah, Bianca means blonde
Yeah,
in
and then we
Italian.
thought about a Dutch series of 2 ladies on a fence with a postbode, and
With the mailman.
the actresses are Plien and Bianca.
Ah,
So one
okay.
is Bianca and the other is Plien.
Oh, of course.
And we are creating their egos because now they have a name, but they're not naming themselves, right?
We think not. Yes. We don't know.
Well, if I talk with trees, no.
No.
So maybe it's human, right? That we put egos on it because the whole story about the lion,
Yeah.
I don't think it's from ego. It's from
No,
their
they call it
belly and their
instinct.
heart. Yeah.
Yes, which is
It's not
instinctive.
like my father was a boss, and now I also want to be the boss.
Now I'm Mufasa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Simba. No, okay. So then it's human. And then another nice question is, since when did it enter humanity? Since the first human ever was delivered on this planet, created, born, whatever we call it.
Well, the information I got is it's only needed in 3D, what we call 3D.
So that means this three-dimensional world we live in right
Needs an
now.
ego. Yeah.
And maybe people say, but what? This world has always been three-dimensional. And no.
Because if you can connect with Lemuria and Atlantis and all the other stuff, then
That was not 3D.
no, there were no words. So 3D needs words.
But when you say Atlantis, it's interesting too, because if there was no ego, because there was no 3D, I mean,
No,
then
no, no.
where was
Atlantis is, I think, the creation of the ego.
exactly? You know
Because
where I'm going.
they left the Lemurian transparency
Yes.
and stepped into technology and mind. And they needed words. And
So the
words are
Lemurian,
spells, and then you got magic and
Lemurians were without ego. Let's make some kind of shift. And then Atlantis people, they start creating it. Okay. Atlantis was how many years ago? How many thousand?
It's yeah. In my world, it's still there.
I know, but in the official, you live on it.
Yeah, I don't think that really people can say it's but if you go like in the 800-year cycles and the 12,500-year cycles and the 24,500 cycles and those are beautiful and then the 44,000 cycles, then you go a lot back. Yeah, a lot, a lot, a lot.
But on the other hand, it's not such a long time ago that we created the ego, apparently. I mean, it's a long time
It's
ago
what
and not.
yeah, I got teachers and they say it will happen very fast, and then I ask in human years, and then they say, well, we think in 800 years from now, so that's really fast.
Yeah, so it depends on the perspective as with everything.
Exactly. So all this information comes out of a non-time related realm.
So if we become, because what you said some time ago is we are not aware of this. We think the ego and the mind is one. So we don't know we have
What I
choices.
always listen to people when they have real questions, like real questions when they have a profound question, like Lars, I'm stuck, and if they mix up mind and ego in their words,
Yes.
then they kill their receiver, because most people blame the ego.
But I think 99% mixes it.
The
Maybe,
same.
yes. For sure, I did too.
Like for example, what for me was the starting point is mind over matter.
It's an expression, yes.
And I understand when you look at like quantum mechanics, you got mind over matter. They have proven it. Like the one who does the experiment has an influence on the experiment. So if you do an experiment, it will have another outcome if I do exactly the same experiment, because I am doing it instead of you. And my mind is different than yours. So it's mind over matter. And that's
Yes.
logical because the mind is a receiver of frequencies and the
You
whole
receive.
world is just frequencies. So we really think that like there is matter and that you can drive your car into a wall, but it's kind of nothing. Even the wall is like 99.9% nothing. So it's all frequency. And your mind is a frequency receiver.
Yes.
So it can receive anything.
Everything. Yes.
So it can also influence everything.
But influencing in the moment without ego? Or is the ego
In the now.
always?
In the now. And the
Yes.
ego is not living in the now.
But that's also interesting because normally we think when we influence things, I mean, maybe we don't even realize what it is. But let's say you would say it's your ego influencing things. But that's
I think that's really overrated. We all believe it.
because
And I can hear people scream, yeah, but if you look at the politicians and people with power and money and because power and money and influence, it's all ego based.
yes, but even like, okay, politicians, they can influence something in the moment.
In
Or
my world, and
uh,
that's a strange world, they
uh,
don't have any power. But all the minds connected to this politician, that's the power. So the politician is not doing anything, but all the minds connected to this politician are
yes, so
creating something.
that means that the other minds are receiving from the politician, let's say like this, but the politician then is sending with his ego. Because otherwise you cannot send with
Yeah,
your mind.
but power is coming from something. Power is given. So a politician does, believe me, a politician does not have any power, because if he says go to the right and nobody goes to the right, there is no power.
No, only when the people literally go to the right, there is a movement and there is a power.
Like, for example, when you step into this realm, then people say, yeah, but you're like so spiritual and I don't believe this shit and pop, 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 pop. And you're out of your mind. And then I always have to laugh, especially in this conversation, because that's ego, out of your mind. And they are out of their mind because their ego is talking about what I'm saying. So they are out of their mind and I'm in my mind because I'm just receiving. But okay, this is getting complicated. In a way, you know, power is already there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can only give power.
You cannot take power, you mean?
It's given.
That's very interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
It's a total, completely mind shift of everything.
Yes.
Because we always um, complain that people take power, take control. But if we give it,
But it's very
yeah,
simple. It's very, even if you go there, like there are people and they take all the power. If they take it, where did it come from?
it was already there.
Yeah. So it's given,
Yes.
right?
But then the big mirror is that it's given by who?
All the minds.
Yes.
And then
That
you get
totally,
mind, and then you get mind over matter, because then the minds create the matter.
that's a total paradigm shift.
And quantum mechanics has proven it works that way.
So is it then maybe that we don't want to really believe this because it would change everything also with the responsibilities and leadership of yourself?
Annemarie, when you realize that you got all the power, do you have any possibility to blame and shame someone else because you got this ugly life?
You say very weird things, ugly life. No.
No. And a lot of people who hear me saying this will say, yeah, so I'm to blame because I create this miserable life for myself. Yes and no. Yes, because that's how it works. And no, because you do it automatically. It's just software that you got implemented in your system and you don't know any better.
Yes,
But it's not
exactly.
that you on purpose are like sabotaging your own life, or that you
But
can, if you break your leg, that you created your broken leg. No, you can only create the way you respond to a broken leg. So there are a lot of paradoxes in this area. So it's not like you created bankruptcy, it's how are you reacting to your bankruptcy?
reacting to is when it happened already.
So what happens is not the thing. It's how you respond to it. And people react to it, so they don't respond. And how are you becoming able to respond? With a clear mind. But the
I
ego
think,
doesn't have access to a clear mind. The ego is like on automatic. It's like it's triggered and it runs.
bam.
And then it's also creating frequencies and matter.
You said something that maybe uh, nobody, some people think, what? You say that there is a difference between reacting and responding.
Mm-hmm. By the way, we are getting this weather that you just got. So let me turn
Really?
on the light. Let there be light.
when it still works, because here the power just before.
We could be any moment out of the air because
Yes,
this is Italy. Well, this is Sardinia.
yes, and storm and the way things work here. But anyway, so reacting and responding, because that was something you said it between the lines, but I guess it's
It's a big
worth
one. Yeah.
some attention. Yes.
The ego reacts. So it got triggered and it moves.
So it's almost like instinctive, like
Well, let's call it automatically, like on autopilot. There's no choice.
okay.
So like I was explaining on the boat, I practiced a lot in clearing the mind, stepping back, have all the space of the world, and then make my choice how to respond to the situation.
So reacting is by the ego without a lot of choice because it's automatic, and
Zero choice.
responding
Zero choice. Not a little
zero
bit,
choice.
zero choice. It's just
React.
it
Okay.
goes.
Reacting, no choice, and responding is like conscious. Okay. But it's a big difference. The words we use.
I think it's the difference.
Yes, that's why it's needed some more attention. So we don't want to react to things. We want to respond.
Well, we react on things, believe me. Like if I step into the car now and I drive here on the mountains and I get this a guy behind me, like
Yes.
they are really kissing my bumper.
Yes.
I'm reacting. I'm reacting.
Yes. Yeah,
And
that's
also my Juliet, my wife, she says you still have to work on this thing, and she's right. So that there
until we
will
know.
always be parts in, and luckily they are, because it's never finished, that we react.
Yes.
And yeah, it's my daily practice to create more space to really make a choice how to respond to something. To the moon, to the stars, to my dreams, to the other realms, to the portals that I see, to the energy that comes in, and all the information that my mind is receiving.
Yes. This is a really deep one. And it can bring a lot of tranquility, calmness, peace in
A
all of
lot.
your system.
Yeah.
And for sure, Italian traffic is very good for practicing. Every day on the bike, also, I am nearly, for sure, hit or almost killed 2 days ago.
Yep.
It's and automatically, you react like I will not say it out loud. So that's a really good one.
And now you're responding, right? You wanted to say it, and then you made this choice, and you were like, "Is this really helpful for now?" No, it's not really helpful. So it's
No,
this responding. If you practice, you can, and we are in a
get it up.
tranquilo mode. We are
Yes.
in this relaxed mind state together now, and we have our rainbow dragon who was here a few weeks ago, and he can he is a little bit shy, but I really want to have him in the podcast one day because he can talk about the frequencies of your mind. So he will say that when you react, your whole mind, and you can really investigate it, you can really test it, you can really see it on the
Yourself.
screen.
Yes.
You're in a different frequency. I believe he calls it beta. So when almost every person is in beta, which is like the ego state, and when you're like when you're almost killed on the road, or when I got this guy behind me pushing, then we go into this. He will say you go into the beta state.
Which means then that you close the antennas, kind of.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes,
You're closed off with what I
yes.
call love and light. So you're not rooted
But,
and you're not
cool.
connected to the above.
But you can feel it. Like 2 days ago on the bike, when it was really close call with a car hitting me almost. I felt afterwards that everything was locked, and then I even started shaking, and even I got tears, like to literally open
Well,
up.
that's a big compliment to your system that you like immediately released the trauma, the stress that you
Yes.
got in that moment.
Yes, it was 1 minute after. Yes. And then
Yeah.
I stopped and drink a lot of water in a fontana, in a
Beautiful,
fountain.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. Um, so it's what he says. Yes, I feel it works like that. So when you are aware of it, well, you cannot stop this process because it's automatic, but you can see it and make a choice to let the light in again.
If you practice this, you like what I like to say is like don't try not to fall down because you will fall, you will react, you will lose your mind.
Mhm.
Like all these words like I was out of my mind or this was mind blowing or whatever. It's all like you stepped into the ego. And when you practice this, you can step back, you can clear your mind. All the yoga and meditation techniques are given just for this. So it's just to clear the mind and the energy system. And then from a neutral position, you can choose how you want to respond. And you will definitely fall down. You will definitely react. You will definitely step into the ego, out of your system, not connected to anything anymore. That's why most people kill other people just in a second. They were not in their body, believe me, because their body would not allow them to do that. You have to be out of your body to do such cruel things.
True.
So those people are not embodied. They are not connected.
Which is not like an excuse why they should do it,
No, no,
but
no. It's not making like
no,
oh
no,
they couldn't help it or whatever. That's a whole different
no, no, no. That's
difficult
exactly.
conversation. And
Yes.
yes, it's true.
So this could be a very good thing to for everyone who listens to practice in daily life because, well, we give some examples, but we all can think of many examples where you feel that you kind of close the doors inside yourself in the second, and also like like you spit poison, and then you feel it's not helpful for you, it's not empowering you. But yes, your ego probably says, yes, but I have to do this because he is wrong, or she is wrong, or he did that, or I am
Which is
right, or
old programming, which is learned
yes,
mostly between your 0 and your 9 years old. It's like programmed, like
yes.
when you have to fight or protect
But
or whatever.
the good thing in this is that you can really reprogram yourself. It's not simple or it's not very easy, but it is fun for
It's a lot
sure.
of fun.
Yes, you can really reprogram, and that's also what you mean with you can fall down. You will keep falling down, and you will keep reacting, but it takes time. But you can really reprogram,
Yep.
and then you have the choice. Again, we always come back to the choice. And when you start consciously choosing, for example, to not react but to respond, then you can always bring it with light and love, which is another frequency, which will be differently received in another mind.
I even want to go further, like you're not your ego.
No.
You're not your mind, because the mind is just a receiver.
Uh-huh.
So what are you? Well, let's make it easy in this conversation. You're light and love. That's that the building
That's your
blocks
pure
that you are
existence.
built of is love and light.
Yes.
So when you have access to love and light, you will, if you really have the choice to respond, you will respond out of love and light. That's why a lot of teachings will say, if something happens to you, ask yourself, what would love do? And love is a very complicated definition, but our definition of love and light is like purity, crystal clear. If you get it
Yes.
crystal clear, what would you do? Then you can respond in a crystal clear way, which is always built out of light and love.
Yes. And another important thing here is that it will usually not trigger any ego in the receiver.
Because the receiver is not triggered, the ego is triggered.
Yes.
The
No,
trigger
I mean not,
moves
yes.
through the mind, but
Yes.
it's not the ego gets triggered.
And
Like
it will
you're
not.
almost killed on the road. So all this information goes through the mind, it enters the ego, and it goes boom.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is, we had this conversation also a short while ago. Like, drama is also the theater of the ego. Like, the mind doesn't know any drama. The mind is just it receives, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make a story out of it. Because for
No,
a story,
ego.
you need past and future. So you have to go to the ego. And we, even in this podcast, we are using stories. So we are using the ego. It has this beautiful things. And drama is also the territory of the ego. And drama is not only about, oh, wow, bad for you, and oh, you're always so unlucky, and oh, awful for you. Now it's also the other way, like this typical for me American way. Wow, awesome,
Amazing.
amazing, you know.
Yeah.
Like I had so much fun, and this was the best day of my life, and we were on
Yes.
this boat, and it was like really paradise. It's also drama, you know.
Yes,
But
true.
it's the drama where people like to go to. But if you go to drama, you invite all the drama, like every
But all
taste
kind of
of drama.
dramas
Yeah,
are empty. They
because you're
literally
entertaining
feel
the
empty.
ego.
Yes. But does that mean that the ego is empty? Like, because when you give this example about an American way of speaking, I know it always feels very shallow and empty to me because I go to the United States quite often
Mm-hmm.
and I meet this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but so what does it say that the ego is also kind of
Well, if you listen to these things like oh amazing,
yeah.
or how are you? Oh, so oh, an amazing day, right? Do they respond or do they react?
Oh, it's a pure reaction because it's automatically, and usually they don't even really listen to the answer because it's they don't
So
care.
it's not connected with Mother Earth. It's not connected with Father Sky. So it's like totally out of everything, and it
Yes,
and that's why you use the word shallow.
yes, and kind of empty. Yes. So how could we use our egos in a magical way that it is?
I love that question by giving it the possibility to respond, because you react with ego, but you also need the ego to respond, right?
Yes,
But then it's like, oh, if we like slow the process down, it's like stepping back, connect with everything that you are and everything where you're connected with,
yes,
really dive into this deep wisdom and truth. Then from the inside out, create your response built out of light and love, and then you give this to your ego, and the ego gives it to what we call the world.
and then it's going to be empowering for
Always,
you and the world
always,
around you.
Always.
And for people who think, well, that means it takes 10 minutes every time something happens and I need to respond. No, this goes also very fast. It
I,
can
I,
go
I
very
got
fast.
a really good, and I'm not always there. Let's be very clear.
Ah,
And I had a beautiful compliment that I was like, yeah, years ago, that was really different. Like
yes.
we were in the car and we took a lot of curves and roads, and then we were lost. We were like lost,
On
you know?
Sardinia.
Yeah, we were lost.
Okay.
Like where can we go?
Yes.
So we stopped. And then I said, almost out of a reaction,
Yeah.
this is interesting. It's a long time I was lost. I enjoyed it. And then I got the compliment like you're really living what you're saying, because most people will be like frustrated now. But I really can feel that you are like, wow, I got the experience of being lost. Yes. How
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
And again, I'm not always there. Definitely not.
Uh-huh.
And it was a good experience for me that also in what we call reacting now, you can kind of program the ego, because a reaction is out of program.
Mm-hmm.
So if the software of the ego also in its reaction is more aligned with light and love, things change. So
Yes.
there's even nothing wrong with a reaction.
No, it's just that it's unaware. It's
It's
automatic.
it's
And
autopilot.
yes, and that is not something that really makes life more beautiful.
Very often the autopilots of the people around us are like really devastating for everything we've got here.
Yes, exactly. So this is a good example that it doesn't have to take a lot of time to kind of every situation that happens, but it totally changes the situation, because when you would have been frustrated about being lost, um, you close the things again. And well, I have this just something crossed my mind. Example that you know very well. A few weeks ago, my car decided to stop again. Last summer I had the same on the mountain pass. I don't even understand exactly why, but something with sport modus and so in the middle of a mountain pass, the car stops, and I was just lucky that I could go into a parking that was just there. And then I was completely started reacting and like manipulating a lot, because I thought, no, why is this happening? What I need to do, and calling with the people for help in the Netherlands, or to tell me what to do with the car and stuff. And later, you opened my eyes and said, "Wow, you could also have just, sit there, um, do some meditation, let the car cool down, watch where you were, because I was in Dolomites, which is really beautiful." Maybe somebody showed up and stopped, and you would have made new friends. But now I was only completely blocking everything. Even I remember I was sitting on a table, like a picnic table, with my hands like this, really blocking, because I was so frustrated about this situation. So long story short,
Yeah,
now
good.
when I
That's really a
relive
good
it,
example. Yeah.
yes, I feel how I totally closed everything by reacting very well, primarily, mostly. And that it also could have been a very different experience.
And again, let's not make it. Of course, it's like we want to like create more moments that we respond. And again, don't make this reaction state wrong or bad, because
No,
it's
but I
it's also
feel
a signal where there is like an abundance of possibilities to
exactly.
to
I
change life.
feel, yes, that's the thing. It's not about that it's wrong, but I feel the different impact it has on me. And when I'm like this, it kind of paralyzes myself. And I started even shaking because I was so afraid that because last year my car was transported back to Netherlands because of this. So I was really freaking out about what all
Story, past, future.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And I felt and I feel again what it did in me. So it's about this sensation was not really pleasant. If I can re-choose and this relive the situation and I choose to respond in a totally different way, then this impact on my system will be very different,
exactly. Exactly.
which I prefer.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Wow.
was
Very good example. Yeah.
yes.
So that's the ego story, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a very, how you say, verhelderend. It's enlightening
Yeah.
because it's something we don't really are aware of, not really think about a lot.
Yeah, and I very often when there is a lecture or someone else is sharing his or her knowledge, it's also a filter for me when they interchange ego and mind. Then I'm like, okay, let's clarify where you come from. And when people very are a lot of people are not even aware of it. A lot of people have a great distinction between ego and mind.
Hmm.
You can feel it. You can feel it when there are two separate things. But it's
But if then
in
you
like
mean they are not always aware of it
no.
when they have no.
There are beautiful teachers who say such profound things. And lots of times you will recognize that they really make a difference in mind and ego. But they won't start with like, okay, sometimes people use mind, sometimes people use ego, and I made the choice to no, they won't. And they are very consequent in having a difference in them. Yeah.
So maybe now they will can be more aware of it and use it.
Yep.
Thank you.
So now I'm curious. Out of this conversation, what is your definition of love?
Well, as usual, there's always just one thing that pops up. To respond and to, well, now I use your words, but to be aware of the choice that you can respond from love and light always. Also when your car breaks down, also when you're almost killed, in many situations, you always have the choice. And that is also when you respond from love and light, it is love.
Wow.
Yes. And for you, in all of this conversation, what means awareness for you?
That's very interesting because I think that's the third. If I look at it in the light of this conversation, there's ego and mind,
Mm-hmm.
and there is awareness. Because if you're lost in your ego, you don't have any access anymore to awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also possible that you receive a lot with your mind, but that you're not like really aware of it.
True.
And then like more things happened on the water. That's why I felt really 2 or 3 days like a certain tiredness. So things happened in my mind that I'm still processing. So awareness is kind of a third, like like
But
yeah,
connected, very connected.
yeah. It's I think it is the connection. Like if you and I that let's have that conversation in our next podcast. How do I ignite awareness? Because if it's on, I can be aware of everything that my mind is receiving. And I even can be aware of that I'm in the reaction mode of my ego. I even can like smile like, oh, look at me. I'm running. So it's a third. But now I have this question of how do you like turn it on? Or
Well, I love
maybe
the word. Yes, ignite.
why do you turn it off? You know? It's the same question.
I love this one for next week. How to
Yeah.
ignite awareness or switch it off.
Yeah. I really want to know that.
Me too. Yeah. So let's explore that next week because next week
Beautiful.
we are gonna be here.
Next week we're gonna be here.
Wonderful. Thank you
Thank you.
for today. Good luck with the storm that left here and arrives with you.
Yeah, it's rumbling and tumbling, and
Yes.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
So I'm
Ciao.
going. I'm going to hit the button.
Ciao.
Ciao.